Hi, everybody, and welcome to Heel Heat. My name is George Coles, and on this episode, we're going Walking in Memphis. The topic of this, CWA Wrestling from Memphis from October 28th, 1989. And if you've not seen any of my shows before, we grade everything on a 1 to 5 scale, 1 being the worst, 5 being the best. There will be a link down here in the description where you can watch the YouTube video that I watched to review this. One disclaimer on that, the video isn't the greatest quality. It obviously came from a VHS, and if you're old enough to remember VHS tapes that had some tracking issues, that's what that VHS tape seemed to have, tracking issues, because it bounces a bit. Not the greatest quality, didn't totally take me out of the video, but I just wanted to give you that disclaimer. Power through it, because it'll be worth it, as you'll see as we go through here. That being said, let's jump right in. We start the show off with some highlights of a brawl between the Rock and Roll Express and the Blackbirds Blackbirds manager Reggie B. Fine, which leads us right into the opening segment, montage that brings us back. We start off with a Dutch Mantel promo. Dutch is a face at this point. I love Dutch Mantel. I've mentioned it on these videos several times. Of the Memphis wrestlers, the guys that are known to be from Memphis, of course, I love Jerry Lawler. Who doesn't love Jerry Lawler? But Dutch is right up there with one of my favorites. I think he's one of the most highly underrated wrestlers of all time. I think Dutch is absolutely amazing. He's an absolute genius when it comes to booking as well. The stuff that he booked in Puerto Rico was fantastic. But anyway, we're going a little bit off the rails. From the promo, we get the Dutch Mantel versus Kevin Dillinger, with the Dirty White Boy is standing off to the side of the stage watching. Kind of a running theme a little bit through the show. Dutch Mantel, who was in a feud at the time with the Dirty White Boy, who was the Continental Champion. Obviously, Dutch picks up the win here. I'm giving this a 5. We're adding the promo. Again, on the Walking in Memphis shows, we include the promo with the segment because they're usually tied together. It usually goes hand in hand. I'm giving this a 5. Like I said, to me, Dutch Mantel is one of my favorite Memphis mainstays. I like him better than Idol. I like him better than Dundee. Not saying that those guys are bad. Just my personal preference. I'm a big Dutch guy. Coming off of that, we come back to a local promo for a local commercial for Dutch Mantel, saying he's, talking about a match he has upcoming with the Dirty White Boy, which leads us into back to the studio with a Dirty White Boy promo with the Dirty White Girl, who, I know, the name's hilarious, and if you don't remember the Dirty White Boy, or if you only remember his TL Hopper run, again, another very underrated talent, a great wrestler, fantastic gimmick. Dirty White Boy and Dirty White Girl was fantastic. And, again, he's not a guy, I think his best stuff came in this territory, in Memphis, at a time where Memphis was starting to go on a downslide. By the early 90s, Memphis wasn't what it was in the 80s. Not saying that Dirty White Boy didn't have a good run during the 80s, but I think a lot of his best stuff wasn't seen by a mass audience, which is why he wasn't remembered as well as some of the other people from here, Dutch Mantel being one of them. Anyway, Dirty White Boy goes up against Kelvin Austin, not to be confused with Stone Cold Steve Austin. I believe they did say he's a younger brother of Norvell Austin, which I didn't remember Kelvin. I don't know if he had a long career. Maybe he changed his name and wrestled as something else. He basically was used as enhancement here. Much like Dirty White Boy did on Dutch's match, Dutch was out here for Dirty White Boy's match. Dirty White Boy picks up the win. I'm giving this a 4. Now, coming off of that, we get an interview with Ricky Morton. Robert Gibson couldn't be there. They show more parts of the brawl with the Rock and Rolls and the Blackbirds. Reggie B. Fine comes out, which then he gets Ricky Morton to turn his back, which watching Memphis television, watching a bunch of these in a row, and I know there's tropes all over the place, but they always seem to get the face to turn their back to the camera. And I remember this from the time I was like, every time the face turns his back to the camera, they get jumped. Morton turns his back to the camera. Blackbirds run in and jump him. After the attack, they get ran off by Dutch Mantel and Frieza Thompson and a couple other guys from the back. Just another cool segment. Again, how can you not love Ricky Morton? Coming from that, we go into a match with Chris Champion, currently part of the Wild Side, although I believe they were saying that the Wild Side was breaking up at this point. Chris Champion, or they weren't breaking up, but Mark Starr wasn't there. Chris Champion's going up against Frieza Thompson. Again, going back and watching these, and this is a few of these I've done now. Over the last several weeks of doing these, Frieza Thompson's one of the guys that I knew of but kind of hadn't thought about in a long time, and I just love seeing him again. Chris Champion, solid wrestler, solid worker. I think he kind of got hurt by the Yoshi Kwang, whatever it was. It was something to that effect in WCW, and he was part of the New Breed, which I think hurt him a little bit as well. Either way, I thought he was a good wrestler. Chris Champion picks up the win over Frieza here. Ronnie B. Gossett's on commentary the whole time. I'm giving this a 4. I like Ronnie P. Gossett. I think he's one of the great managers. Again, mostly worked in Memphis, so didn't get as wide of a range of people seeing him, but still, even with that, still left his mark on wrestling. Next up, we get another local promo, this time with Gossett and Champion and the Dirty White Boy, which leads us back into the studio. We get a Blackbirds promo with Reggie B. Fine. Again, I'll say it again, I've said it when the Blackbirds have came up. Underrated tag team. And I keep saying underrated through this whole show. I love the Blackbirds here. I think they're great. I think they're fantastic. The promo leads into a match. We get the Blackbirds versus the Enforcers, not to be confused with Arn Anderson and Larry Zbyszko. This is just two random guys under masks. This was a great match. Like I said, I love the Blackbirds. I love that team. I think they work very, very well together. Blackbirds pick up the win here. I'm giving this a 5. Like I said, I really, really enjoy them. After that, we go to break. We come back. We get the short promo with Dutch Mantel and Ricky Morton to close out the show, which was also awesome. With that being said, highlights of the show for me, Dutch Mantel, obviously, Dirty White Boy. Anytime I get to see the Blackbirds, I love seeing the Blackbirds. So this was very enjoyable. And you could kind of a little bit see where they were stretching a couple feuds through the whole show. I really, really enjoy that there is a theme that goes over the show. Basically, the show starts and ends with the Blackbirds and Rock and Roll Express being covered. All throughout the show, we see Dutch and the Dirty White Boy, their feud being covered. So to me, that really kept my interest through it. It made me want to keep watching. All in all, I thought this was yet another fantastic episode of CWA Wrestling. I've loved all the ones I've seen before. This I think this might be my favorite one. I'm giving this a 5 all the way through. I thought it was very, very enjoyable. Again, even though the quality of the video is bad, I highly recommend going and watching that link. If you're watching these reviews and you're not watching the links, I have no idea why. Please watch the links too, so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. And it's fantastic, fantastic stuff. All in all, fantastic show. I enjoyed all of it. Shout out again to the American Samurai, Bucky749. I'm gonna have a link to his channel here. He's the one that suggested or gave me the idea that started this line of reviewing these Memphis shows. I'm gonna continue to shout him out. I think his videos are quite good. I think he's a good guy, so definitely check him out too. Check out the video. Like, comment, and share on this. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. If you made it all the way to the end, let's put Dutch in the comments for Dutch Mantel, because I love the guy. I think he's awesome. With all that being said, my name is George Coles, and we've been walking in Memphis.